Hello and welcome back to Mr. Adelman's fantastic math class. Today we're going to talk about how to find the distance between 2 points on a coordinate plane. We're going to use something called the distance formula. You'll use this if you're trying to find the distance, for instance, on a map, if you're looking for 2 points and want to find how many miles in between them. Okay, so let's take a look at our first example here. We're going to find the distance between point N, which is at 2, 3, and point M, which is at -1, 7. Now, before we do this, let's go over a few things. First, we need to take a look at our coordinate plane, and we need to remember a few things that you should already know. We need to know what the x-axis and the y-axis are. This right here, which is at 0, is our x-axis. So I'm going to put a little x there. And so that makes the vertical axis our y-axis. And let's talk about our points here. This N here, this is going to be our first point, and we know that this is referred to as an ordered pair. It's a location of where point N is, and I know that this 2 is our x-coordinate, and I know that that 3 is our y-coordinate. And since this is our first ordered pair, I'm going to refer to this as x1 and y1. And I'm going to put a little subscript there to indicate that that is our first ordered pair of x and y. And so M is our second ordered pair. And again, the x always goes first, and this is our second, so I'll put a subscript of a 2 and a y with a subscript of 2. Now it's important that you're putting subscript, not postscripts, to indicate that this is the second x value. It is not x squared. Do not get that in your mind. This is the second x, that is the second y, where that's the first x and first y. So let's go ahead and plot these 2 points. First we're going to plot N, which is at 2, 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my x-axis, I'm going to go over 2, and then I'm going to go up 3. I'm going to put a little point there, and I'm going to label this N. And then I'll go and plot our point M. And I know I'm going to start by my x, it's at -1, and then I'm going to go up 7. So that's right there. And I'm going to label that M. And so what we're actually trying to do today is we're trying to find the distance from N to M. So how long is this? And I'm just going to make a line to indicate we're trying to find the length of that. So let's take a look. What we're going to do today is use what's referred to as the distance formula. And you would use this if you didn't have any if you didn't have a ruler just to measure that. So let's take a look. The distance formula is this right here. It is D, standing for distance, is the square root of our second x value, x2, minus our first x value, x1, plus, we're going to square that, and then we're going to add it to our second y value minus our first y value, and then we're going to square that difference, and then we're going to take the square root of the whole entire thing. So let's take a look at what our points were again. So we had N, it was 2, 3, and we had M, which was -1, 7. This is going to be our x1, y1. These are going to be our x2, y2 values. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug in our information here into this formula. It's a nice thing about formulas. All you have to do is plug them in. So the distance from MN, and we know that when you are finding the distance of a line segment, you just write it as the 2 endpoints. It is going to be square root of x2, which is -1, minus x1, which is 2, we're going to square that. We're going to add that to the difference of y2, which is 7, minus y1, which is 3. We're going to square that, and then we'll take the square root of all of that. So I'm just going to write equal signs, indicating that I know that nm is going to drop. So I'm going to just do my math out here. So I know that this is negative 3 squared plus 4 squared. Negative 3 squared is a positive 9, plus 4 squared is 16. I'm going to take the square root of that. And of course, 9 plus 16 is 25, the square root of that. And so now I know that the distance from n to m is 5 units long. And so that's how you use the distance formula. And so that's all we have for today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me either in class or on my blog. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Goodbye.